Bellevue police say this video shows Janice Wiley holding two stolen Louis Vuitton purses.
How did the record come about?
I was in Miami with Jay White. We was in the studio, and I was just like, I need to make something for the hood. Like, I need to resonate with the people. I do, and we gonna get to that on the album, but I just ain't want to make nothing raunchy and just shake that ass. I wanted something just like where the tempo just felt good. It gave like top back vibes. You could just, Yeah. It's just like a vibe. It just feels sexy. That's
First of all, do you know about this Young Miami song?
Who, me?
Yeah, you be rocking it in the whip. Where my scamming ass. I'm gonna tell you how much I know about this song. I've literally only heard other people sing it. Women. Let's give it a legitimate, quick review before we even go into this, so we can have a grip on what's going on as we go into this story. Okay.
You got the pay to get on that flashlight. Let's get ready for
my scammers.
Spin that shit.
Spin.
Spin that shit. I mean, she's not really gonna say nothing else. It's really. Right. There's no reason to go through, but you get it. Where all my scamming ass niggas at, spend that money fast. So it's basically a song that perpetuates, a bunch of crime, and low morals. This is going crazy. It's crazy viral, and there's also an attached spin that challenge. Lisa Ray don't look too bad today.
No, she look good to be what, 50,
90,
59?
70, 60. His love crime on a catchy beat. I don't know what is.
Who's that, Sierra?
Yeah, that was Sierra.
Yeah, baby, they got boys. He's
Little
a
Boys,
boy.
Rick Ross. Oh, this is a family. I think that was Young Miami family. She promoted her degeneracy and everything's going on.
So we see
her popping everything in her booty hole, and and all the money and all that stuff, and the selling and the stealing and all that.
Right,
she did that at the Classic BET Awards, the famed halls of the BET Awards. Of course, I mean, where else would she do it? How else do you spread this?
All y'all promoting that Carisha song, Spend That Shit, y'all are the reason why our community's in shambles. We already know that bitch is low vibrational.
Spin that shit. She got some black lips.
And was trafficking drugs for Diddy. Did y'all forget that she was a part of it and then wrote a pardon letter to the fucking judge? Do y'all not understand what y'all are promoting?
And she tried to go see Trump for him. You know what she brought with her?
She did.
She brought all she got. She was dragging all that wagon. You know how the same way Nicki went down there.
And y'all go promote this ghetto ass, trashy ass. It's crazy work to me. It's crazy work. We got little boys that are getting shot up because they're being profiled, right, as thieves and scammers, and y'all are still outside. Where all my scamming ass niggas at? Grow the up. And when you have to make a GoFundMe for your sons, don't come to the internet.
She a tether. She from Africa. You saw her lips.
From here.
She not from here. She always hating on our people. Most of that stuff come from people from other countries.
As mentioned on Sunday, BET will air its 2026 BET Awards hosted by Drewski. The night appears to have been appreciated by many viewers, but still has also gained a large amount of critics. Now, one moment in particular is standing out and receiving some backlash, when rapper Young Miami, who during the night by Drewski would be presented as having the song of the summer, Spin That, would take to the stage to help.
I thought Cheap Teeth was the song of the summer.
I told you it was going to be the summer jam. This right here going to be the summer jam, son.
Nah, I'm rocking with A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Please don't, man.
Present the BET Her Award. Now, as soon as she would come to the stage, the crowd would begin to cheer and sing the lyrics to her current hit. For those who don't know, the chorus of the song says, "Where all my scamming ass niggas at? Spend that money fast. 20s, 50s, 100s, cash. Boy, go in that Goyard bag. Boosting bitches, where y'all at? Stuffing that shit in y'all bag. Just to
Stop profiling us."
Son, listen to
this dude is an African from Africa.
He's not, man. This is hype. This is hype news, man.
Hype news is from Africa. He an African. He trying to put Africa on us.
He's not a tether.
Stop tethering.
flip it, pop some tags. Girl, go in that Goyard bag. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Now, for Miami, the moment looked to have felt good, given that she would receive a warm reception from the audience and her peers. Now, despite how it may have appeared on TV, several viewers, including former BET Awards winner India.Arie, would criticize the praise that Miami is receiving for a song.
I love India.Arie.
Respect.
You know she wasn't going for that.
Nah, hell no.
We ain't never seen her nipples or nothing.
Son, cut it out, son.
No, I'm not. I'm saying respect her. I must respect her nipples. I'm just saying we have never seen nothing like that. She say completely wrapped up.
She's a sister with morals and principles.
I don't even know what the bottom of her throat look like. This little spot right here. What you call this spot?
Man.
That some are calling toxic to the black community and her having a past relationship with Diddy. A user on Threads would write, "This woman stood by and defended a man accused of human
He ain't rape her. That's what you was saying. He ain't grape on me.
assault, attempted murder, and more. We all watched him beat the shit out of a young woman he groomed since she was."
But he was getting money though. That's what y'all not even talking about. She was getting all that money.
That has nothing to do.
He was getting that money. Y'all want to say he was getting that money. You need to shut up. Shut up, stupid. FBA.
She wrote a character witness statement on his behalf. She also doubled down on her statement. Arie was going to say, "I finally realized that not everybody wants to get free. And it was a very, very, very rude awakening, shaking my head, because the mass acceptance of this song is a crystal clear sign of this much bigger truth."
The mass acceptance. Nobody's tripping there. It's viral all over TikTok. Like at the BET Awards, and you know black people celebrate our celebrities more than we treat them like goddamn royalty.
That's true.
So the celebrities are dubbing this the song of the summer.
But son, hold up, son.
Of the summer. Have this kind of
Hold
summer.
Hold on, son. Listen, this is what has not
Scamming
been
ass
touched on.
niggas.
No, man, listen, man. Black folks don't own BET anymore. It's owned by
It's
Viacom
tethers.
now.
It's owned by tethers. It's the
by
Africans.
tethers, man.
They did it. Jamaicans and shit.
Now, immediately following her remark, one user were going to say, "Are you surprised? They still eat McDonald's." And in return, Arie would respond with, "No, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed." Now, Arie's criticism of the song being praised wouldn't stop there. While responding to another user, she would further explain her issues. A user on Threads would say, "I'm calling a boycott of Young Miami's song Spin That. I believe it's degrading to our culture. At some point, we have to take seriously the power music has over our perception and the values it reinforces."
She a hater, yo. She's a hater.
So you got a woman, she got her small children in the car. She got this song banging in the car. That's subliminal. Her children are listening to that. We ain't even talking about teenage kids. We talking about little kids, and we've seen it. 3, 4, 5, 6.
They gonna do what they want to do anyway.
No, that's wrong, man. It needs to be balanced.
She can't control them.
It needs to be standard.
She works as hard as she can.
Nope, wrong.
She pulled herself out the ghetto by herself. It's
We
just
need
her.
change. We need change.
It's
And
only her.
She should be in the forefront.
She's a single mother with 2 babies. It was
And
what she's supposed
what?
to do.
And being going back and forth to Dubai.
This can't be the song of the summer. In response, Arie would go on to say, "I spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that not everybody cares with a capital C, and explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to or eat is going to influence you, so make wise choices, y'all." Now, across pages like TikTok, the song would continue to be called out by other users.
The devil is laughing at us as black people right now.
That's your boy. What's his name again?
D1.
Yeah, he a rapper. He's nice. He's just
Yeah,
intelligent rapper, but nice with it.
Oh yeah, he's
But also swift with it.
You know how dumb we look? Because he got him a beautiful, black, influential woman, Young Miami, to make a hit song that's super catchy, that's glorifying scamming, shoplifting, and street life. And people who know better.
That's not gonna make him do it. That's not gonna make nobody do that. Nobody don't do that because of that.
Son, cut it out,
Just because
man.
it's just a song. It's just a song. We just having fun.
Son, don't play into that.
We just having fun.
Don't-
Why you trying to take away the song of the summer? You just a hater. Everybody don't want to be like you. And y'all tellers and Africans.
Now you being
The
the
culture
tether.
are too afraid to say something because they don't want to seem like a hater. Then when white people start jamming to her, we not even offended no more. Watch this. We like, oh, she lit. Invite her to the barbecue. But she not worried about if her grandkids going to become scammers or shoplifters or caught up in the streets. That's something we got to worry about with our kids. Because, of course, we make it cool first. Okay, my role model was Felicia Rashad. Okay, that's the woman I wanted to be like. I never...
She a lady like us. I mean, we're not ladies, but she a person.
Why she got that?
She might have been through something. Don't give her a hard time. We trying to stick together as a people, man.
She might have got 50 cents. She might have got banged.
Don't do that to her.
My mom with her tongue out. I never see my mom suck. I never seen my mom twerking. I never seen my mom outside half naked. I never seen none of that shit. So when y'all get in these comments trying to promote that ghetto ass behavior, get your ghetto ass off my fucking page. The fact that your mother is with her tongue out lets me know everything that I need to know. And
That's true, yo. Honestly, when you think of a mama of a good mama
or grandma,
she ain't like that. Just that in and of itself. Like, what you doing?
Right.
Put it like this.
That's the signs of something.
It's never really acceptable. But that would only make sense. Young girl just discovering her little, you know what I'm saying? You know, little young girl, little hot. Put your goddamn tongue in your mouth.
Right. But somebody's mother,
come on, man.
Out in the street.
And like I said, and from a young girl, it's to be corrected.
Y'all are the reason why our community's in shambles. We already know that bitch is low vibrational and was trafficked. It's for Diddy. Did y'all fucking forget that she was a part of it and then wrote a pardon letter to the judge? Do y'all not understand what y'all are promoting? And y'all go promote this ghetto ass, trashy ass. It's crazy work to me. It's crazy work.
What, y'all forgot Sexy Red already? Y'all forgot Sukiyana already? Sukiyana?
We got little boys that are getting shot up because they're being profiled, right, as thieves and scammers, and y'all are still outside. Where all my scamming ass niggas at? Grow the up, and when you have to make a GoFundMe for your sons, don't come to the internet. Y'all will get up here and promote a Carisha dance, but ain't speak about that little boy getting shot or Carmelo being locked up on love. Y'all irk the shit out of me in this community. I just want to let y'all know that. Y'all ain't shit. But then y'all want the whole community to come together after y'all flash money at prom and stacks and something happens to your kids and now you need a GoFundMe. What happened to that money at prom?
Yeah, that's real talk.
Get that ghetto shit away from me. I swear to God I don't want it around.
While many
It's a thing about values, yo. I watched this whole thing earlier today about how the lowest class of us became the standard.
Now, how is it that the members of the black community, such as the celebrities, actors, and the entertainers from the lowest rung of the ladder, came to be the most influential members to the black community? And what caused them to get to that spot? The explanation comes from professor and sociologist Dr. E. Fraser Franklin in his 1957 book titled Black Bourgeoisie. There have been only two really vital cultural traditions in the social history of the Negro in the United States. One being the genteel tradition of the small group of mulattoes who assimilated the morals and manners of the slave-holding aristocracy. So the first of the two notable black traditions was the genteel tradition, which placed high value on conventional family life, sexual purity, manners, education, and so forth. And this tradition was learned from the slave-holding aristocracy, or the nobility, or the elite, or the upper class slaveholders, right? And so this small group of mostly mulattoes took their culture from these people. And keep in mind that it says small because most of the blacks didn't have this culture. And the other, the culture of the black folk who gave the world the spirituals, which is the culture which developed as an adaptation to the slave environment. The first small group had the mind of the slaveholder, and the second mass group had the mind of the slave. The genteel tradition, or the one that came from this aristocracy, flourished especially in such large communities of free mulattoes as those in Charleston, South Carolina, and New Orleans, Louisiana. It was maintained by those mulatto families that had acquired as part of their family traditions the patterns of behavior which were associated with the ideal of the Southern lady and Southern gentleman. Some families took pride in the fact that a mulatto ancestor could not be distinguished in his physical appearance, dress, manners, and speech from his white half-brother. And they had these thoughts because they had bought into the idea that the traditional European features were superior to all the others. And so, in other words, they believed this to be true. Many of these families migrated before the Civil War to the north. After the Civil War, the free mulatto class continued to hold itself aloof from the masses of freedmen. The Civil War ended in 1865, and by that time, the masses of blacks were no longer legally enslaved. And the Negroes with the genteel culture, they were trying to distance themselves from the masses because at that point they were culturally different people. The descendants of the free mulattoes became, after the Civil War, the core of a small class which undertook to maintain the American pattern of family life and conventional sex mores. So the offspring of this class looked to maintain the values that they had developed over the years. And this was one of the reasons that they kept a distance from the Negro masses. Because if they would have started mingling closely with the Negro masses, then their culture would have been compromised. Especially being that there were more in numbers coming from the Negro masses who were the carriers of the slave mindset. So now at this point, we have members of the Negro masses who were attending school with other members from the mulatto class, and there was conflict. The mulatto class was stuck with the Negro mass, and we can see the frustration coming from this student here. And I'm pretty sure the Negro masses didn't like them either, right? Let's continue. On the whole, the tradition of the gentleman has ceased to have influence on either the manners or morals of the Negro community. The tradition they had stopped having influence on the Negro community, and later on we're going to find out exactly why, because it ties into the main topic of this video. In the Negro colleges, it is futile for teachers to exhort the students to behave like ladies and gentlemen. Futile means pointless. And why was it futile or pointless to get the Negro students to behave like ladies and gentlemen? Because at this point, the Negro masses had begun to take over, and the culture that they carried was nothing like the genteel culture that some of the mulatto class had. So from here, let's understand some of the background coming from the Negro masses and the culture that they had developed. The folk culture of the American Negro developed out of his experiences on American soil. Whatever element of African culture might have survived enslavement became merged with the Negro's experience in the new environment and lost their original meaning. The Negro was made in America, right? From the language, the food, the thinking, the dancing, the songs, right? And even the physical makeup being a mixture of different people. And Dr. Frazier says that anything that survived that would have come from Africa was merged into this new environment and it lost its original meaning, right? So a new culture and a new people were created from this completely different experience. The character which the Negro family acquired under the system of slavery was due to the exigencies of servitude rather than surviving African patterns of behavior. Exigencies meaning what was needed in a situation. So the character of the Negro family, which included the woman heading the house, was needed under the system of American slavery, and it was not something that was of African origin. In a situation where no legal recognition of family existed, the dominant position of the woman in the Negro family was due to the concession that had to be made to the needs of the children as well as to attachment of mothers to their offspring. So that was some of the background on the two different traditional Negro cultures that developed here in America. They developed under completely different circumstances, right? And they served different purposes. Understand? So at this point coming into the story, the Negro masses, they've moved from the South, the rural South, and they've moved into the cities, a lot of them, where their culture and their mindset interacted with this newly discovered environment. And so they begin going to college, getting educated, making more money, and climbing up the economic ladder. And with this new dynamic, this is where things get interesting. Although the younger generation of Negro businessmen in Durham had acquired more thoroughly than the pioneers the psychology of modern business, they were still influenced by the older traditions that had grown up in the Negro community. And the older traditions are referring to the morals and the values that were inherited from that aristocracy class, right? The one with the free mulattoes. This was the class of Negroes that developed their culture under the circumstance of being free, right? They were the first class of Negroes that we discussed. Let's continue. They still conformed to the tradition of the gentleman, which lingered and shaped their morals and manners. They still felt some identification with the Negro masses, despite the fact that their interest might be opposed to those of the masses. This was due partly to the fact that they, as well as the Negro masses, lived under a system of rigid racial segregation. And this small group was forced to remain separate from the rest of the whites, and they were forced to live amongst the Negro masses. Here we go. Moreover, they were more closely identified with the institution in the Negro communities, which were supported by the masses. On the other hand, the black bourgeoisie, which has become important in recent years, remember this is in the 1950s, has tended to break completely with the traditions of the Negro. And this black bourgeoisie is the blacks that came from the Negro masses, the ones who were the carriers of the slave mindset and the culture, right? Remember, they began getting educated and making money. And this mass element of people, they became the new black bourgeoisie, which broke away from the traditions of the old black bourgeoisie. Let's continue. As the system of rigid racial segregation has broken down, the black bourgeoisie has lost much of its feeling of racial solidarity with the Negro masses. In the metropolitan areas of the North, where there are increasing opportunities for employment and earning money, social mobility, which means primarily the attainment of middle-class status, has become a question of the amount of money which one has to spend, right? Not how thrifty or how much money a person could save, but how much money a person could spend. This was the mindset of this new black bourgeoisie, right? The ones who came with that slave mindset. Let's continue. When a French sociologist on a study tour in the United States saw the emergence of the black bourgeoisie in northern cities, he observed that they were really colored Babbitts. And Babbitts means a materialistic professional or a materialistic business person, a person who spends without thinking, right? That's how the French sociologist described this new black bourgeoisie. Let's keep going. The break with traditional values is seen in the changes in the canons of respectability. Among the older upper class families in the Negro community who really stood for a middle class way of life, the canons of respectability required a stable family and conventional sex behavior. So to gain respect amongst the old Negro class that had money, the ones who stemmed from the free Negro tradition, a person was required to have a stable family and practice conventional sex behaviors, meaning with a spouse, right? Here we go. On the other hand, among the new black bourgeoisie, these values are regarded as old-fashioned virtues, and there is much confusion in thinking and behaving with reference to these values. Who is the new black bourgeoisie again? They are the descendants of those with the slave mentality, the ones that came from the shackles and the chains and developed a culture coming out of the pit, right? The people who developed a way of life from the slave environment, right? They didn't believe in those traditional morals and values that the old Negro bourgeoisie had, right? They labeled those as old-fashioned, right? So if that was old-fashioned, then what was considered the new trend with this new black bourgeoisie? Let's see. Divorces and scandals in family and sex behavior did not affect one's social status. Rather, the notoriety which one acquires in such cases adds to one's prestige. You see that? A person having family issues and having sex with all type of people, this didn't present any problems, right? It didn't lower one's status. In fact, it raised it up. And remember that this book was published in 1957. And so this gives a very important key in understanding how the blacks ended up with the dominant value system that most of them have today, right? And it's a key to understanding your way while you're wandering on the path and trying to find your way, right? Let's continue. The change in attitudes towards the old-fashioned bourgeoisie values is due largely to the fact that the new bourgeoisie is recruited from those elements in the Negro population among whom these virtues never existed, and that money has become the chief requirement for social acceptance. You see that? These values and morals were never learned in the slave environment and developed in the slave culture. It's not like humans naturally understand that they should have conventional sex standards, right? Humans, when they're left to their own devices, they naturally want to do just like other animals do, and that's mate with minimal restrictions. Understand, conventional sex behavior, that's a cultural approach that's designed to tame the animal instinct within the human, right? And it's something that has to be taught, conditioned, and also upheld through expectations of the people and of the community. And so this was not the culture of the slaves. And so when they were set free, their offspring came into the rest of the society with a particular set of values that shaped the way that they interacted with the new environment that they found themselves in. And so as certain members from this group began to earn more money, they began to reinforce their inherited values on the rest of the black community. Now watch this. Among the professional classes in the Negro community, actors and entertainers are relatively numerous and have the largest incomes. Here we go. The actors and entertainers, who very often have a lower class background in the social hierarchy of the Negro community, exercise a far greater influence upon the morals and manners in the Negro community than actors and entertainers in the white community. And so these actors and entertainers were from the lowest class of the Negroes, or they were blacks that were the furthest down in the pit. And in terms of today, they would be equivalent to the blacks that are coming from the inner city projects, right? The ones who become rappers athletes, and entertainers. And they have much more influence on that community than what those types of people have in a community like the white community or the Indian American community or the Vietnamese American community or the Chinese American community. And they typically bring a set of values with them that keep that community going round and round in this never-ending cycle, right? And having people wondering what's wrong with those people, right? And they're also funded by many of the white folks. And both of them together, right, they eat lunch off of that community and suck the energy all out of that community. Suck it dry, right? And they're the ones that are highly influential to the youth, right? Just as they were in the 1950s when this book was written. Let's continue. Their prestige is owing partly to the glamour of their personalities, but more especially to their financial success, which is due to their support by the white world. That's what we just talked about right here. They're funding it, and both of them together are eating off of that community, right? And it keeps that community because it keeps projecting those type of values, those type of morals in that community, and those type of deeds and actions in that community, and it keeps them suppressed while groups of them keep eating and coming up, right? And they're working together collectively, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner off of that community. And that community stays down because they don't have the right values, morals, and the right culture to climb out of it, right? But they're working in there hand in hand. Let's continue. The black bourgeoisie is also being recruited from the successful underworld Negroes who have gained their money from gambling, prostitution, bootlegging, and the numbers, right? It's coming from all the people whose home resides down in the underworld.
Bellevue police say this video shows Janice Wiley holding 2 stolen Louis Vuitton purses. It was posted 5 days after detectives say her daughter, Janice Downs, and an unidentified suspect stole the bags worth more than $7,000 from Nordstrom in downtown Seattle. And 2 days after Downs showed the purses on her Instagram account.
For us, she's a
This is dumb.
As dumb as it gets.
This is dumb.
Well, she telling on herself. It's not dumb. She just telling on herself.
Telling on herself. And once again, that value system. That value system. Look, you can't say she isn't part of the culture. She's literally doing the challenge. You know what I'm saying? You can't say she wasn't influenced. I mean, she probably been stealing, but she's like,
son,
yeah.
She's old enough to know. She just came home in January.
Yeah.
She just came home.
We're only doing the short version. They got a whole 20-minute expose on this lady.
On Punchy?
They made the song for Punchy. Spin that shit.
Prolific, organized career theft criminal, and so we're very familiar with her.
That's because Bellevue PD Special Enforcement Team busted.
It's like Drewski.
And so we're very familiar with her.
That's because Bellevue PD Special Enforcement Team busted Downs and her mom 2 years ago for a major organized retail crime spree. They were accused of stealing more than $500,000 worth of Lululemon clothing. Downs pleaded guilty to 6 counts of organized retail theft. She was sentenced to 33 months in prison with 501 days credit for time served and was released in January. Bellevue PD Captain Landon Barnwell says just 4 months later, Downs was back to her.
And a pouch in front of it.
In the Nordstrom theft, detectives say surveillance video shows Downs wearing a burqa as a disguise. Detectives say the surveillance video shows how Downs and her accomplice cooperated to steal the purses, distracting the clerk by asking to see other bags on the shelves behind him. When he turned his back, watch as the accomplice smoothly slips the handles of one of the purses over her arm. After he shows them a second bag, he puts it back on the shelf. When he went to the front sales counter, police say Downs walked over, made sure he wasn't looking, and grabbed the purse, then held it down low on the right side of her body, opposite over where the clerk was standing. Her accomplice then moves over next to her, takes the handbag, and exits the store with both of the stolen purses.
Right by the security. He on the phone.
He like this. I swear to you. What you want, a bucket of chicken or you just want a 4-piece?
Niggas ain't shit.
Don't say that, son.
That
was you. If you was security, that'd be you, son.
I mean, I'm a nigga too.
Oh, man. Ooh, we're failing as a people.
You know they're going to call us tellers on this one, yo. We already know. Today we're going to examine some things that may upset you. Testy Fagarians sensitive Negroes with their sensitive Negro spots.
Yes, and we be tapping on
They pause, I think, unless it's ladies. I like your Negro spot, ladies.
Hold up, son.
Where's your Negro spot, ladies? Welcome, everyone, to Tether Time. My name is Cheddar.
And I'm Neville.
And this is Tether Time, where we are better
Than
you.